catching the green, but the cue ball's finishing at the side cushion. Although having said that, I'm just wondering whether not the red closest to the middle pocket, but the one just out from it, is that possible into the left centre? I think it is, you know.
One.
Well, there's a lot of snooker left in this frame, the way the balls are situated. Pretty awkward.
Four.
Well, that's the shot of the match so far. Almost straight on the red. Perfect cueing. Perfect position. Just look at this, John.
It was a stonker, isn't it? Absolute beauty.
12.
And if he gets the right angle on the red at the back of the bunch, the one just sitting to the right of the red there. And watch where he leaves the cue ball.
Yeah, sure.
Purposely leaving it short. He didn't want to get straight on the red. He wanted to be able to pop this and go right into the bunch. And if this works out, he'll give himself a terrific opportunity. Not so much the pot. I mean, the white was almost on the cushion. But look at the position. No wonder they call him the Wizard of Wishaw.
Just it well. Get the feeling if this black goes in, because it's a little bit tricky near the cushion. Well, after red, he knocks in halfway through this break. You wouldn't expect him to miss it. And he hasn't done. Very difficult to see Steve Davis getting back to the table. Once again, he had a chance early on in the frame.
27.
Didn't make the most of it. And he could be sat there now and will only get out of it when it's time to play the fourth frame.
28. $35.
Didn't quite judge the position. I'm screwing back there, so it's the long red. The one. Well, I thought it was going to be the one to the left of the blue. Still may be. This to keep the break going.
Ah. 36.
You can clinch this frame with these two open reds. The
41.
other three are a little bit awkward, but you'll be past the winning line by then.
42.
The difference, or red and pink or black.
48.
And it's 3-0.
49.
Yes, and Steve, a lot to think about. Just hasn't started playing yet.
56.
I mean, when he gets in amongst the balls, you've got to score, and he hasn't yet.
57.
When Steve got in first in the first frame, he just got 9
62.
points. Only really got in when the frame was over in the second, but he had chances early on and only got 13 points. He won't be getting out of his seat whether John pots this or not. But now he has. You fancy a century?
63.
John Higgins had a chance of one in the first frame when he made a break of 78. He wouldn't bet against him making one here.
'69.
So, you know, a lot of people
70.
ask you, don't they? Well, how do you know there's a century on so early? As long as you can, by the time you've cleared the reds, got at least 73 points, then there's a century on. Because, of course, he's 27 points for the colours.
75.
He's on 75, so it's a possible 102 on now.
77.
Yes, you need 10 reds on the table to make a century. And I remember when I used to practice with Alex Higgins and he missed it, there was 9 reds left. He'd throw the balls up again and say, well, we've all made a 90-odd break.
80.
Well, with Willie, I mean, there had to be 15 reds on before he'd carry on in practice. So he could make his maximums.
84.
Oh, inch perfect on the blue. Certain century for me.
89. 95.
Very well
102 on the
taken.
frame.
Steve Davis once
John
again didn't take his chances, but John Higgins did a marvellous break of 102, and he smoothly, easily goes into the lead in this match by 3 frames to 0.
And it simply wasn't Steve's night. He just couldn't hold back an on-form Higgins, who ran out a 5-1 winner. So tomorrow, it's back to the day job in here for Mr. Davis.
Every time you miss a shot, there's the possibility the other guy can do some damage to you, which John did. But then also got some things happening which weren't too clever from a luck perspective, which just sort of compounded the problem, and it just seemed like everything was falling on top of me and everything. So I struggled to sort of, A, keep my composure, B, keep my sense of humour, because it was hard enough as it was with John playing so well. So it ended up, well done, John.
Steve let me off the hook a little bit at the start of the match, and I got a little bit of confidence, and I missed a couple, but generally I'm very happy with the way I played. I'm delighted to beat Steve.
I did quite well to get the last 16. Nothing special, but I'm sort of holding my own, so to speak, so I'm not complaining.
It's a long game that's been letting me down the last few years, but the start of this year I feel a lot more confident when I'm taking the long balls on. I fancy getting them, which is a big part. In the last few years, county tournaments have been a bit of a drag, and I've not enjoyed it, whereas now I'm happy to be here, I'm having a laugh, and it's just because I know I'm playing at a higher standard, and I'm enjoying actually being here and then about the tournament.
So, only 3 days to go in the Grand Prix, and only 3 of the world's top 16 players are left. And so this is the rather unlikely look of the quarter-final lineup. It's O'Sullivan against Barry Pinches. We've got Michael Holt against Barry Hawkins. Stephen Hendry will now meet David Gray, who beat Stuart Petman 5-4 tonight. And John Higgins will meet Stuart Bingham. Intriguing stuff. Well, it's